This week, the end times are nigh. We've got some Legion info. I know, because we're that's what we get for WoW is Legion stuff, because there's nothing going on live except for, did you kill Archie again this week? Okay. We've also got some quest and artifact Q&A discussion. Sombra, who I misspelled in the show notes, go me, got teased a bit. And the usual tavern brawl, free heroes, that kind of thing, and maybe touch on Gul'dan, because that seems to be the thing all the HOTS people are talking about. But I doubt it, because it's just me, who cares? Today is Friday, July 8th, 2016, and this is Epic Fail episode 67.
You are now listening to the Epic Fail Podcast.
Hello, welcome back. It's number 67. We're getting old. Old, I say. I'm gonna get a cane out and just start shaking in the air, and you darn whippersnappers. Which is a lot funnier when I do it where I work, because I'll actually get the old guy voice. You young whippersnappers and your devil music. And yeah, I'm amused by it anyway. I don't know about anyone else. And my opinion's the one that matters.
What?
You weren't here, you don't know.
Yeah, but from that last little bit, I know enough.
Anyway, I am the host, Draven Dresden. As I said, this is Epic Fail number 67. With me, as always, are the hostages of the fail train. Up first, hailing from the land of the moose, we have Scarlet. How are you doing? What have you been up to this week?
What moose? I'm confused. I live in a city. There's no moose. I haven't never actually.
Should I just
seen
play
one.
Willy Wonka music right now then?
Yes, because I am still looking a bit blue. Apparently, my webcam is having issues. So it's either blue or yellow. So we're blue. I'm good. So I did a thing this week, or I'm working on a thing, but you were there too. So we're apparently going to get challenge modes before the next couple weeks. Yay, challenge modes. Although, I do have to say, it might be slightly better to be awake while doing challenge modes.
And not lagging.
Well, lag, whatever, but I literally fell asleep while we were tanking a boss. Rather, while I was tanking a boss. So I think it meleeed people in the face, and that was bad. But what else? So I went to raid this week, and before raid I hopped in Overwatch, and then Overwatch got really interesting, and I just kind of didn't show up for raid. So that happened. But that was pretty much my week. Hearthstone, challenge modes, some WoW. What about you? Well, my question is, so, and I'm sure we're going to talk about, the patch coming. But with the patch coming, I plan, once it drops, to take out all my followers from doing missions, make sure there's no active missions, and then delete my Garrison Hearthstone. Although someone said it might get automatically deleted. But that makes me kind of feel slightly sad for my followers. What does everybody think? I'm going to feel like, oh hey, I'm abandoning you. Bye. You can sit here and be stuck on this lonely planet. We're gonna leave.
In my case, am just upset that I'm not getting a large chunk of dynamite for my garrison. Because once 7.0 hits, the pre-patch, I won't be going back, because there'll be no reason for me to.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But I'm gonna feel sad that I left my followers in there.
Did you feel sad about leaving the farm in Pandaria?
I never did the farm.
Did you feel sad about abandoning the farm to their own devices?
I never did the farm.
Exactly. You didn't. It doesn't. They're going on their own. You just.
I never.
If it makes you feel any better.
I never had a farm.
Okay.
So you never adopted a dog. You never adopted a Mushan. There's a little girl, Pandaren, who never got a best friend.
Okay.
I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad about that.
Okay, here's what you do, Scarlet. If it'll make you feel any better, pick a random follower, RP walk up to him, whether you're on a mount or not, I don't care. Point to him and say, "You're in charge until I come back," and then leave.
No, the big tree will do that. No, I'm tired of garrisons. It's true, but at the same time, I'm gonna feel sad that I leave all these 20. Actually, I probably have close to 40 followers. Some are deactivated, obviously, but just gonna go bye-bye. Also, I'm tired.
Yeah. And then from America's kneecap, because that was the most family-friendly thing I could think of with the position of where that is. Anyway, Theory, what have you been up to this week, and how are you doing?
So I guess kneecap isn't that bad. I guess it could have been worse. I'm good. We did some raiding, played some Overwatch, little salt here, little salt there. Raid week this week, we had one really good day and then one day that was kind of meh. We just were having issues on farm bosses, so we called it a little bit early. However, as far as what Scarlet was saying, just burn it down. Burn it down. Give me some matches. I don't care. The good ones are gonna show up again later on anyway, or better ones than you have now anyway. So who cares? Just burn it down.
But what about if you have Mila Kunis as your follower and you're just gonna let her burn?
So I'm hoping that she will make a reappearance in beta. I have not found her yet, but if you remember, she was a surprise, and I made a really big deal about it when she showed up in my garrison.
Yeah, I don't have her in any of my characters' garrisons. I do have several, BIM and a whole bunch of other people that, got followers kind of named after them, sort of. Enough that we know that it's supposed to be. But in terms of just Mila, no, I don't have that one. Did you do anything else this week, Theory?
Not really. I mean, I worked and did real life stuff and tried not to watch the news. Other than that, not really. I spent a lot of time on beta. I spent a lot of time on regular live. I'm having a really hard time deciding what I'm going to play. I have beta, so I got to try everything now. I don't really need to wait for the pre-patch, which we'll be talking about later. And the one thing that kind of scares me is a lot of the classes play very similarly in beta right now. There's a whole lot of whack-a-mole going on, which they used to kind of be that way too. Currently, you always hear people joking around like face rolling on the keyboard, well, you play a DK, does that mean you roll left or roll right? Everybody's heard that joke. But the whack-a-mole thing is real right now. And maybe that's just level 100. Maybe it changes once your artifact powers up and you actually have to put some thought into what you're pressing. But I'm a little wary of that at the moment. I played a lot of Hunter. I played quite a bit of Warrior already, also, Prop Pally, which it's okay, it's fun, it seems powerful. I also played a little Bear. honestly, it didn't really feel that much different from the Prop Pally. So I don't really know, man. I'm having a hard time figuring that out, but that's what I spent most of my week on.
Okay. As for me, Garrison Craft continues. This week alone, I had two 10k plus golds just from the tables. So that was nice. And that's on one server, not total. So Airy Peak, I think this week I made 25k, and then my other server that I have more tunes on, I think I'm up to like 33. So I've had a decent week in terms of gold, which is pretty much what I do in WoW at the moment. But that's gonna change soon. Like, weeks.
You got a couple weeks.
Yeah. Other than that, I mentioned last week I started playing Heroes again, just based on what I've been hearing about some other people that are better being in Bronze with me. I'm not happy I'm in Bronze, but I have had a couple good games, so I think, it's going to work itself out eventually. I'm hoping I can dig myself out of that. Very, very little Overwatch this week, mainly because I spent most of my time playing Mass Effect and beating that in 3 sittings. I didn't do everything.
That's not a Blizzard game.
No.
You're not allowed to speak of it.
And then, most recently, I am now 15 hours into Witcher 3, and I'm in Act 2 out of 4, I think. So, I've got a ways to go. But I'm trying to do everything.
Psst, Draven.
Yeah.
That's not Blizzard.
I didn't say it had to be Blizzard stuff. I'm still playing Blizzard games.
But this is a Blizzard podcast.
Yes, I know. It's okay if we enjoy other things too. These are games I've wanted to try for a long time, and thanks to WoW not holding the excitement level, I'm able to do that.
Okay, so before we get started, and since we're off the Blizzard bandwagon, can I just say I don't give a crap about all these people with their Pokemon on their phones, and I'm just waiting for all of the people to get in a wreck when they're driving around in their car trying to catch Pokemon at the same time. It's gonna happen. Some kid already found a dead body trying to get a Pokemon. It's gonna happen.
So
like a literal dead body?
A literal dead body. The kid was trying to find a Pokemon near the woods at his house and found a dead body.
That's one weird Pokemon.
That's therapy later on.
Can't play Pokemon anymore.
So, I downloaded it, and then I realized that basically what they did is they took Google Maps, and they took images from Google Maps, and that's it. You got to go visit these images, and then a thing will appear.
It doesn't just use the camera from the phone?
No, basically, so I downloaded it, and basically you find one just like wherever you are. So as soon as you open the app, it's like, hey, you found a Pokemon. So I was laying on my bed and I had my foot up on my knee, so it was literally sitting on my knee, which is kind of cute for like 2 seconds, and then I was like, whatever, it's just, dumb. And then to find more, I literally would have to go walk outside down my street and like point places of interest, and I'm sure it uses Google Images because it was like old images and stuff that from things that aren't there anymore. So yeah.
Funny story, I had someone where I work come running through trying to get, apparently it was a rare Pokemon that was only like active for like an hour a week or something. I don't know. He was in a hurry to get it. And he's coming running through and he has his phone out trying to get it. I'm like, no. If it would have been 1 day sooner, if someone doing that, I would have been like, dude, you're crazy. Get out. But because I knew the game had released, because Twitter was going nuts with it, I was like, that's got to be what he was doing. Well, yeah, but I don't pay attention to pretty much anywhere else.
Let me just say, when somebody comes into work and asks me about their freaking Pokemon game, I'm going to have a really hard time being nice.
A customer or a coworker?
Well, coworkers are already doing it, so customers.
Yeah. And with that, because of the entire great amount of news we've got, we're just going to forego bumpers this week because everything is going to get shoved all together. Plus, I'm lazy. What? So, Blizzard news. And let's see, what do we got? Up first, Symmetra. Yeah, Symmetra.
Symmetra?
Yeah, Symmetra. She
That's
changed
not
her
what
name.
Those letters say.
Symmetra turrets.
Yeah,
Symmetra's got a rifle.
Yeah, she changed her name, got a new gun. Yay, chat's back. Anyway, Sombra got teased. This picture got put out, obviously, on Twitter. And I'm still not sold on the whole I'm shooting you to heal you thing.
Well, that's what Lucio does, ish.
His is a passive AoE field, like a roundup. His shooting things is not the same. His all, I guess you could call it, is healing with sound, but the more I thought about him, the less I have to hate him based on healing with sound. Sadly. I still don't want to play him.
They took him and made him fun to play, so all the crap I used to talk about him is pretty much over too, because he's fun.
Yeah, I should really learn to play supports more, but there's some issues there with ranking and points, and yeah. So we're just gonna put that off to the side. Anyway, apparently by Comic-Con we will have Sombra's full reveal. That does not mean she will be in-game. That just means we will have her full reveal by basically the 21st.
I was kind of surprised. I stumbled onto this. I hadn't seen this anywhere else until I started looking for the other pictures. And this is pretty cool. Now, you notice that the quote from Blizzard doesn't actually say Sombra, though. But they're assuming it's Sombra.
Well, the thing is, who else would it be? They haven't teased anybody else. They put that out after they teased the gun. So who else could it really be? They're not really in the habit of, oh, we're going to tease this person. Oh, and by the way, this person's coming out first. But yeah, here's a closer look at the Sombra thing. What I did get a kick out of Torbjorn and Mercy there going back and forth.
Yeah, that's kind of why I included the bigger one, because in the smaller one you can't really read it. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, can I interject with something that I'm totally going off topic for?
Why not?
In Overwatch this week, I got my 20-player kill streak at the same time as I got kill 4 people with your Molten Core ult without dying. So that was cool. End of story. Go ahead.
And this brief break was brought to you by Willy Wonka. Have some chocolate.
Oh, jeez.
You know, I would love to see Willy Wonka. He was cool.
Completely unrelated to anything except Willy Wonka, my favorite part of the new movie was when the dolls melted there at the beginning.
What movie?
The newest, the Johnny Depp Willy Wonka one.
Oh, I haven't seen that since it came out.
Yeah. I still remember that. That was my favorite. Because I'm weird, and I thought it was hysterical, and everyone was like, oh my god! I'm like, hee, funny.
I like our chat room.
Yeah, they're fun. And yeah, so, yay, Sombra, I guess. I don't know. I reserve the right to hate this hero, but I reserve the right to think it's amazing after I see the final version of what they're doing.
I have a feeling it could be extremely OP, because if you're that far ranged and you shoot people from across the map in order to heal them, I imagine that would attract less attention than sniping people. For example, with Widowmaker, she leaves that red trail across the map, so it's pretty easy to figure out where she's shooting you from if she doesn't kill you in a headshot. But I'm wondering if there'll be like a green trail or something like that in order to kind of key the other team on where your ranged healer is at. So I don't know. At certain maps like Hollywood, I think it could be kind of OP.
Yeah, I would imagine there's going to be probably a green trail, or maybe even a blue trail. But the whole shooting you to heal you thing, I don't get. That's where my issue is. Like, here's a bullet to the face. Oh, I'm glad you feel better.
Well, think about it this way. I mean, think about it as a high-powered dart gun. All kinds of first-person shooters have stem packs. What's a stem pack really supposed to be? Basically a dart you inject in yourself to make yourself perform better. That's basically what it is. So if you think about it from a first-person point of view, that kind of makes sense. Kind of.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Okay, so that's really about it for Overwatch, unless you guys want to talk about your week in competitive, which mine would be, I got my competitive done and haven't touched it since.
What do you mean you got yours done?
I got through my placements, which we covered last week.
Oh, right. And then
I haven't done competitive at all since.
I actually moved up a point more than what I ranked. So I ranked at 36 and I'm now 37.
Yay.
So I ranked at 43, then I dropped to 41, then I went back to 43, and now I'm down to 39 with one win pushing me back to 40. There was, by the way, if you guys didn't notice it, early this week, maybe the end of last week, there was a competition update where apparently the MMR for the Capture the Point maps was a little screwed up, and Blizzard found it and fixed it after being pointed in the right direction on that. Don't know the exact timing when that happened. So if you were actually having issues with your competitive matches in the beginning, that may have been why.
Possibly.
Could have, but that means that I may not be a 36. So after all,
Yeah.
If you were playing during that time, yes, but you probably would have moved up a little bit, depending upon all the other RNG involved.
yeah, that's true.
Yep. And then, just because we like advertising, do you want to be a dev over on Diablo while Blizzard has a job or 7 for you?
So the cool thing about this, if you notice, it says unannounced project under Diablo. Diablo 4, maybe?
I think so.
Or expansion, or
World
patch.
of Diablo?
I doubt that.
Heroes of Diablo?
He's already in Heroes. Yeah,
So
Diablos in space?
that's what the Zerg are.
That's StarCraft.
Yes, I know. Yeah, it could be an expansion. It could be Diablo 4. It could be just, hey, we're hiring people for the next Diablo patch.
yeah, but they wouldn't
Diablo
need 7
iOS
devs.
game? Well, you never know. They might.
Diablo
Yeah.
Watch.
Yeah, Diablo on your Apple Watch.
I think she was making Overwatch with Diablo characters.
Well, that too. That too. I'm thinking it
I
could be
was
an
repeating
iOS
what
game.
the chat room said.
Yeah, I
I
have
was
no
gonna-
idea.
Diablo MMO FPS, that would be kind of cool.
That's kind of what Legion is.
Yeah,
It's
but
not
like
an FPS though.
with the dark, twisted side that Diablo has. See, WoW's all like, "Hey, I'm so happy, I'm gonna go shoot you," but Diablo's all like, blood and death and gore, and then kill you.
I don't know. I think that this means there'll probably be some type of announcement at the con this year for it.
If not before that, like Gamescom or something. Because they have to have something for BlizzCon big.
Yeah.
I don't know what it'll be. But with that, next topic is Warcraft. Because no one really cares about Diablo at the moment.
I'm meant to care about Diablo.
Okay. And since we all are complaining about a year plus in the current tier rating, Blizzard decided here's a background download patch. What this is probably mostly the voice files, because there's a ton of voiceover in the pre-patch and in Legion as a whole. It is, I believe it was about 30 gigabytes total, so it's basically Legion.
It was pretty huge.
Yeah, it's huge. Like, I literally spent almost an entire day just randomly looking at stuff and not playing games, just so I could get it slower but still do stuff.
By the way, if you want to speed up your download time, like if you're just going to let it load while you're not playing, you can go into your settings and boost up your limited number as far as what you want to keep it at for the background downloader. I turned mine all the way up and then left my computer for an hour and came back. It was done. Mine was about 21.5 gigs. I think you're right about the voice files. However, those are not really that big. But remember, this is a pretty big patch. It's going to be replacing some of the files that are in the game currently. So I have a feeling that the total space that WoW is taking up will be a little bit less than the current background download and the current file size, because it will most likely be getting rid of some of the older files in the process when it installs.
Yes. Things like... Well, that's not it. Let me go over here. Things like the transmog. That's coming in the pre-patch. All those class updates. You know how you're going to have empty spaces on your bars now because you're not going to have all them spells? Getting that. The Burning Legion invasions will be coming. The Demon Hunters are coming, but not right away. And also, not right away will be the Broken Shore. We're getting that eventually also. My question is, do we, for the Broken Shore, are we getting our artifacts before Legion or after?
You do not. The Broken Shore happens before your artifact quests. So the artifact quest will happen in the new. Usually, it'll start in the new Dalaran, which is the part that will not be live until the 30th or shortly before. Couple of things though, the Demon Hunter stuff is on or before the 17th of August, which gives you about 2 weeks, which is good, which is basically what we've been saying for a little while. And the one thing they did say is that during the course of each week, they're ramping up the actual invasion stuff. So you may see more stuff as it gets closer that you didn't see right away.
That's kind of cool. I didn't know that part.
Yep.
Yeah, and they didn't give us a date on the pre-patch. However, with PvP season ending here in 10 days, I think. And then they said weeks after the patch hits, we get the Demon Hunters. It's pointing to about the end of the month, the 26th, which is pretty much where most people have been calling. We're going to get a month of pre-patch.
Yeah, the current estimate is, early estimate is the 19th, I think, and then late estimate is 26th.
Yeah.
The 19th is the end of PvP, which, if I recall, the majority of the times there was like a week in between, maybe 2 weeks in between. But I think I also remember one time where it was the same day where we got the patch.
Both.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they've done both. So it's probably either going to be the 19th or the 26th for sure.
Yeah. So I'm expecting the 26th. And on the 26th, presuming I have the day off, I will be clearing out all of my banks and getting all kinds of bag space for all my characters again, because I don't have any on almost any character, thanks to transmog and toys that aren't toys and salvage crates on a couple characters, because I might have about 10,000 of those left.
So let me help you out with something real quick on those salvage crates. You're going to want to open those before the pre-patch hits, because some of the stuff that's in those will not be dropping after the pre-patch hits. some of the stuff that's valuable.
I know. I just, at this point, I'm just kind of like, do I care enough about transmog to do this, or do I just want
not really the
Well,
transmog.
Yeah, it's not just the transmog, and yeah, they probably have adjusted some of the epic and blue qualities, but the gold,
Yeah.
values is going to be reduced to almost nothing.
I heard
Yeah.
the weapon armor thingies are like gonna cost copper, is it, or silver? To
Yeah,
Yeah,
vendor them?
when you vendor them, the cost goes way down. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that's basically tantamount to getting less gold from doing your missions that's happening then. So if you have a ton of boxes like Draven, you should get rid of them before the pre-patch hits.
Yeah. PSA, kids, don't be like Draven.
Well, honestly, I think there's a lot of people who've just been stacking them because they run out of bag space and don't have enough room to open them.
Yeah. And
Although that in itself takes up bag space.
yeah, but it takes up less than if you
Yeah, they
open
stack to 20 or whatever, so
them. Yeah. They stack to 20. My Warlock has 5,000 or so. Like, every single bag slot now is a crate.
you should make an episode of Hoarders cartoon version with your Warlock.
Yeah. It's gonna... It was... I figured it up with how long it's gonna take me to actually open them. Even if I don't loot, which when you open it, you automatically loot it, but it goes to your mailbox. Just opening alone at 2 seconds per.
So I have this really good macro, which you may be interested in, that we can talk about when we're not live on stream, which you just hit one button and it opens everything. Not at once, because that's not possible, but you just keep spamming the one button and it'll open everything for you. We can talk about that afterwards.
I think I have something similar already, so it's just one of those things where it's like, if I do that, then I have to go to my mailbox and wait and open all 50 of those, and then wait, and then do it again, and wait, and do it again, and wait, and it just, the whole process is going to take me like days at this point. So I probably should like get started on it, but at the same time, I'm debating on whether or not I care enough to do it. I probably should. That character's alone on that server. Whatever. How much gold can I make in one day off junk?
You know, they kind of missed an opportunity with that. I mean, we're talking about all the people that are going to be offloading all their old gear once it's in their wardrobe. They probably should have come up with some kind of gold sink for it, because people are going to have hundreds of gold extra just from selling all the crap that's been in their bank. Thousands probably in some cases. And if they would have had something that cost, 1,000 gold or whatever that you needed for the wardrobe or after to make the wardrobe easier or something like that, everybody would have bought it. It would have been a really good gold sink to get rid of, the extra gold that's going to push the inflation up a little.
So I was on the beta last week, like after our show last week at some point. So during this last current week, logged in on my 3 mains, like my paladin, my mage, and my DK. I made 10,000 gold just selling gear out of my bags, my bank, and my void storage. 10 grand alone. I'm like, I've got 12 more characters. They don't all have that much gear on them, but I'm expecting about 25k just from selling crap.
Yep.
Woohoo!
The only thing I'm sad about is that I didn't collect more transmog on more characters.
Yeah, well, I'm one of those weirdos who if I'm, like, my paladin has everything possible a paladin can have, pretty much, including some, random green things. But if it's other than level 60 max, if it's a tier set, I have it. And then, I got my DK and my mage, and, I've got every class out there. I can just whatever. I feel like my mage, who is fire, should wear blue today. Why? I don't know. Seems like it's funny. I can do that. Green. I mean, I got all kinds of colors, and same with every kind of armor. My hunter is currently rocking the Murloc set. So,
there's a Murloc set. Oh,
undead Murloc, yeah.
The Kata one?
Yeah.
Is it Kata?
It looks like a Murloc. I don't think it's actually supposed to be. But on a goblin, it looks like a Murloc.
Gotcha.
And then we got the Q&A, which I don't know if you guys watched this or not. Twitch chat was hysterical.
I watched it, but I wasn't watching Twitch chat.
They were going on about this guy's hair the entire time. They didn't care what was being asked, for the most part. It was non-stop comments about the guy's hair. And I'm like, you have these colors and hair on your characters. What difference does it make if he has this hair color? Celestalon has purple hair.
No. Celestalon has blue hair.
Oh, he has blue hair now then. Okay, fine. He had purple.
This guy had very bright purple hair.
This guy looks cool.
I was probably I didn't watch it live. I was at work, so I got to watch the VOD. But I was just sitting there like, okay then. And I just, went through and watched the VOD. Because it was one of those things I was actually interested in, unlike last week's PvP.
And one thing that was kind of funny with the Twitch chat is there was a part where Lore kind of went on a rant talking about his own characters, and people kept telling him to shut up and let the dev talk, which I just thought was pretty funny.
I know at one point the chat was talking, Lore was explaining things to the dev about WoW dev stuff. I thought that was funny. But yeah, it was just one of those things where I love that they're doing these Q&A things. I wish they'd be even just a half hour longer on some of them. But
this one was pretty dry. It ended up really being about one thing.
Yeah, well, it was about artifacts because that's what people are asking about.
Yeah.
But I think at this point, like I said, I love that they're doing it, but I think it's a too little, too late kind of thing. Like, they're finally talking to us, but at this point, most of the people who are watching these things are either not talking in chat, or they're, vanilla servers!
Can you do that again?
No.
We can always rewind it. One thing that I thought was kind of funny, though, not even really funny, but interesting, is this dev was a lead quest designer. However, for Legion, he literally was responsible for just one segment of the questing, which was for the artifacts and everything to do with the artifacts. So they seems like they added more people to the quest team in order to make the quests deeper and even better than they were in WoD, which of the two actually decent things in WoD that most people would agree on, questing was one, raiding was the other. At least in the initial grind, most people enjoyed the questing. So I think it's kind of funny that they took him and kind of focused him in on part and then gave him more help to do everything else. Because most of the feedback right now is that the questing for Legion is supposed to be even better than WoD's questing was. So it definitely seems like they listened, which is good.
The little non-artifact questing I have done in Legion beta definitely seemed like it was even better than Warlords, and I love the going through it the first, even kind of the second time. But after that, I was just like, oh my god, not this again. But
it all gets grindy on alts, but that's the thing that's going to be different this time, is your alts hopefully will be different classes and different specs, so you'll be seeing different actual artifact quest lines. So even if you do level up 30 characters or whatever, as long as they're all different specs, at least part of your questing experience will be different.
Depending on the order you do them in, yes. As he mentioned in the Q&A, some of them are a little similar.
Well, some of them take place in the same area. Like they've used the same area for multiple classes and multiple specs, but the actual quests themselves are different.
Yeah, but if you're going on, and I found this out the hard way. I didn't realize it was these specific 3 classes or specs that I went back to back to back. I didn't know that they were all, oh, go talk to this same guy who's going to send you to the same place, and it's going to be the exact same thing. You just have different abilities to deal with it.
It figures that you would find the 3 that were almost identical.
Yeah, that was not fun. But for the most part, they're not going to be quite that bad. But on top of that, the way they're making the questing with the zones, I can go in a different order, and it'll be like, if I really love High Mountain, I can start there. Like, yeah, I'll do it at 90, or I can save it for last. Be like, oh, I'm going to save the best for last. I can, I'll just trudge my way through the rest of this garbage. I'm not saying it's garbage. I'm just as an example to get to High Mountain at the end, or Blue Mountain, or whatever it's called. I don't even remember at this point.
Blue Mountain.
I think you had it right the first time.
Yeah, I think it's High Mountain. Then for some reason, Blue Mountain. I don't even know where that came from, but whatevs. And yeah, they're gonna add more artifact appearances, which we knew. Some are more hidden than others. We knew. I'm really looking forward to whatever the hidden ret one is, because he specifically named Ret Paladin and Arcane Mage as 2 that they have not put in for data mining yet, that are going to be really hard to get. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, it's actual Corrupted Ashbringer.
What would the mage one be?
I have no idea. It's Arcane Mage. I could care less.
Yes.
That's
what?
Well,
what did you say?
Atiyesh.
Yeah, Medivh staff.
That could be, yeah. I
doubt that, but you never know. But I really, really want Corrupted Ashbringer, and this, if he's saying it's really hard to get, and it's not even out, like they haven't been able to data mine it because they haven't put it in yet. Maybe, please. Artifact respecking, yeah, it's expensive, so don't expect to do it. I wouldn't do it ever, because you're losing artifact power by doing it.
If you're going to do it, you're better off to do it in the beginning than you are to do it at the end.
Do what? Sorry?
Respecking your artifact. Eventually, if you get up to 110 and you've been playing for a while, you're going to have almost everything on your artifact unlocked and be very close to having it be completed. By the time that you're actually raiding, you may have a few things open, but you'll be working your way towards closing the last couple, so it won't really matter at that point. But the cost associated with respecking it is the same as whatever your next artifact point, I think it's called. I'm probably messing up what it's called.
Artifact knowledge or something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it's so literally the further you are in, the more expensive it is to switch back and redo everything. So it's something most people probably just won't do because it's going to be pretty expensive.
Yeah, as soon as they said, yeah, it's going to cost this much, I'm like, well, I like that it's not costing gold, but I'd rather just buy like a 33 silver tome and start over.
It's probably so
people don't do it per boss, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. I was trying to find a phrase for that.
The thing of it is from what I'm seeing and what I've heard, even from you guys and from other people in the beta, you're almost full when you hit 110. You're almost done. I mean, you can, once you're full, you get another extra thing added on, and then after that, you can just, throw more power into it, and it'll just get stronger and stronger, slowly.
Right. And then you also have the other relics that increase the item level of the artifact too. So there continues to be progression on it, even once you've got all of the skills unlocked. You're still increasing its item level throughout the actual expansion. So they put a lot of thought. It's got like 3 different actual catch-up mechanics working later on down the road to make sure, which is part of what they talked about too. So if you decide, 4 months into it, hey, I really don't want to play a druid, I want to play a paladin, or whatever the case may be, you will get a little bit of a catch-up given the fact that you've missed 4 months on that tune to try to catch everybody. So if you're willing to put the time in, it won't be that much of a problem. But it will require some work. It will also require quite a lot of playing if you're going to be playing more than one tune, and a little bit extra if you're going to be playing more than one spec on a tune as well.
Yeah. I want to go through and I want to see all the quests for the artifacts. There's no way I'm ever speccing my paladin to be healer. It's not going to happen.
You should heal. Come on.
No, that's not going to happen. If I don't have to spec as healer, because I watched a video of it, and he didn't need to heal at all. If I can go in as Rhett, yeah, sure, I'll go in and get the two-handed mace. But outside of that, I'm not going to get that one. And the same's going to be like Arcane Mage, or insert random spec here. Like Rogue, I think, is going to be the last one I even try to get. Ever. Based solely on, I think I'm the worst at Rogue than anyone else. That was the only one that in the previous versions of beta I couldn't get through. I could not get through the Rogue one. Everyone else I managed to get it for the ones that worked. But outside of that, Rogue was not happening, so I may never get the Rogue artifacts, which will be sad, but them's the breaks.
Colin says you need to heal.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of healing in the Paladin one that I've seen, but overall, whatever. Oh, catch-up mechanics, yeah, longer time, we covered that. They're saying it's going to take months to completely max out, and that is including the extra trait thing, the extra gold button, and the full power-up. So there's that. Massive balance difference in some of the skins. Well, hunters are hunters, so they get preferential treatment. In that some people like bows, some people like guns. Those skins are going to be easy, but maybe possibly expensive. But right there at the top, Rhett Palian, Arcane Mage. As soon as he said that, I'm like, you have to solo level 60 Nax or even level 80 Nax naked or something. Which at this point wouldn't be a problem, but that would be fun just because Corrupted Ashbringer came from Nax. Yes, I'm still going on about that.
Let me ask you something. Are you really excited that they possibly may put in a Corrupted Ashbringer?
No, not even a little bit.
I didn't think so.
In terms of the artifacts and their power, they said they did 2 balance passes, one for level 100 when you get it, and then one at max level, which is the first time they've ever had to do something like that. So hopefully they're fairly mostly balanced-ish.
Ish.
Well, they're not going to be 100%. This artifact is going to do 1,000 damage, so every single one will do 1,000 damage, except for the tank one, which will absorb 1,000 hit, and healing will give you an extra 1,000. No, they're not doing that. So some will be better, some places, some will be better, others. They don't want to have to tune them if they don't have to. Yeah, we know that. And we covered the overlap. Because I got really unlucky.
How?
The doing 3 in a row of this go to the same guy, go to the same place. That kind of thing happens. But other than that, they should be fairly unique. There's 2 or I think they said 3 for that one, and there's another one that there's 2 that are similar. But other than that, they should be all pretty much unique. If you see anything, Theory, you feel free to jump in also. You're being quiet.
No, we're good. So the Holy Paladins thing was kind of funny because a lot of people were a little weird or weirded out by the fact that they'd be using a 2-handed mace as their artifact instead of traditionally a one-hander and a shield, which has been what they've done for a while. He explained that pretty well. If you guys remember the old video from I want to say it was either Classic or BC. I think it was BC. They had the Nigh, so it had to be BC, with a book, and he slings the big old mace over his shoulder, like he's getting ready to go to work. The interesting thing for me is he's going to have a two-handed mace, and he's going to carry the book, because that seems a little strange. But the idea of using a two-handed mace for Holy doesn't seem strange to me at all.
Holy Paladins are getting Titan Grip confirmed.
In one hand, at least.
I don't mind that, because I don't know. I just think of, how Crusaders in Diablo, they kind of, well, they probably use one-handers. I don't know. I don't play a Crusader. But it seems like they're holding a two-handed weapon and the shield. So I can just picture a paladin holding a book and a two-handed weapon. It's very paladinish.
If you spec into it, you can use a two-handed Crusader weapon with a shield.
See? That's kind of cool.
Yeah, your druids are the avatar of whatever they are the avatar of. So that's why any horns are missing, and they didn't really go into a whole lot of, well, troll druids will have this kind of tint, and whatever other druids, Tauren druids, will have this other tint, and alliance druids of whoever can be druids will have this tint. They're just like, no, this is your artifact weapon. This is what you'll look like when you use these. And then maybe later on transmog forms or something, like glyphs or something, who knows.
The one thing they did say about druids, which was kind of important, I think, is that once we're beyond this patch cycle, they are looking at a way of keeping the looks that people have acquired during the patch, since their artifacts are not actually a weapon variant as far as how they look. Druids are going to want to keep their fire kitties and their see-through black kitties and bears and oh my, but everybody else will still have their artifact weapon that they'll be able to transmog to, hopefully. So it's kind of cool that they're also going to do that for druids as well going forward. But he did say that it may be something that's specific only to people who played during this expansion. So if you're not playing during this expansion, you may miss out on one of these looks.
That's kind of okay, though.
What I want to know, if you know how we have the burning seed things right now for druids for the fire kitty? After you get the artifact weapon for druid, let's say you have the Ursoc weapon, the tank weapon, and you use that fire kitty, can you be a flaming bear?
Well, if you use the fire kitty right now and you're a bear, it just probably disappears, doesn't it? Because it's for cat form.
I don't know. We'll have to ask Kylan on that one. He may know. I have no idea.
Well, I'm not. I'm just as an example of bear. I mean, if it's kitty only, it's kitty only, whatever. But like, let's say it is kitty only, and you have a blue artifact tint. Are you gonna be like blue fire?
That would be cool.
Like your whole cat is blue fire now? Are they adding just a
fire? That would be cool.
Yeah, that would be really awesome, just to throw flavor into some old items.
I have a feeling you'll just be the color that you're supposed to be, but you'll also be on fire of the normal fire color.
Yeah. I hope it's not as lame as that, but it would be really cool just to add the fire effect with the form and all that.
In Hearthstone, the some of the old god cards mixes two cards together, so it actually got a unique look. So maybe they'll do the same thing for WoW.
I don't know. It'd be cool.
Be cool.
We got some info on fist weapons, because inappropriate bulges are inappropriate.
That was awesome.
They phrase it a lot better than that, like more professional, but that's pretty much what it was. They looked inappropriate bulges, so they said If it's she, you don't get to see them. Sucks to be you, unfortunately. Let's see. Teleports, unless you were in early beta, you don't care.
One interruption. Howland said, right now on the beta, if you use the kitty, it just gives you the kitty and not the artifact look. Sad face.
Yeah, we Howland, fix that. You worked there. Fix it. Give it our idea. It's so much cooler. Yeah.
But speaking of that, though, aren't they making it so that your let's say you transform, use the orb of disguise or whatever it's called, and you transform into the opposite race, it's now going to use your own gear. It's not going to put some random hokey gear on you.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So they could make unique models for one toy.
Well, that's not really a unique model, though. That's changing your race temporarily.
That's true.
Yep. Warriors, no one. Warriors have a unique order hall based on
everybody.
Well, everyone has a unique order hall, but they all have like famous names that you're going to recognize if you are a fan of that class, and you know, if you know, like paladins have Liadrin, she's in there. Mages have the Kirin Tor mage people. You know, rogues have famous rogues who I'm assuming Garona will be there. Just you have your famous people from your class from WoW past, unless you're a warrior, because it didn't make sense to have the ghosts of them, because you know you're in an area where you're kind of dead. So warriors are dead when they're in their class hall, I guess.
Yeah, it just seems kind of weird. It's almost like they need another room or something, another place to add on to it. I can see where it seems kind of strange.
Yeah, I mean, I understand their logic behind this, because putting Grom next to Varian would be weird.
But they could have very easily had, you know, 2 separate rooms and had all the Alliance warriors on one room and all the Horde warriors on another. You know what I mean? Like, they could have separated it somehow. They do it already.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's something they could have done. I kind of like the idea of the ghosts being there. But at the same time, the Paladin Order Hall is amazing because of the fact that you see all these Paladins from questing that are in there. It's part of what makes the Paladin class hall as cool as it is.
Yeah.
So.
I'm just upset that they took a couple quote-unquote ghosts out from early beta. They might have been placeholder, but still. There were some really interesting names in the early version of the Paladin class hall, and I wish they would have stayed.
I haven't really looked. You know how they've been putting the 360 models? I haven't been able to see the full model on Facebook, only because my phone, I don't know, it just looks weird, and my computer doesn't like Flash stuff. I'm assuming that's Flash.
Full
whatever it is.
Of what?
For the class order halls?
Yeah. They've been putting... You guys haven't been looking at that?
Yeah.
Every week they've been putting a 360 view of the order halls on Facebook. So you can, like, zoom your camera around and see the order hall.
I'm fairly positive there's walkthrough videos on Wowhead. So you could probably find one of those or on YouTube for it to give you a better idea, which would be even better than the 360 pictures.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. But, you know. I'm trying to see if there's anything worth... Class order halls do generate rested XP, and you get to see trade chat. Woohoo.
Yay! Not so much.
I have trade chat hidden, so...
I think a lot of people do at this point.
Yeah, that is a brief summary of the Q&A. If you want to watch it, go over to twitch.tv/Warcraft, find the VOD for questing/artifact Q&A, and skip to about minute, I think, 17. That's where it actually starts.
I don't know why they leave the like that so much dead air in there.
Well, they go live like for that to give people time to show up. Kind of like what we do here.
They could create it a highlight though, and they could also edit the VOD, which we've done with ours. So she has a good point. Somebody should be highlighting these Q&As to cut down some of that sitting there listening to the music time.
No, I mean I go in knowing it's going to have about 15 minutes, so I skip the 15, and if it's still going, minute later, oh, it started, okay, 30 seconds back.
So, pro tip, just put your cursor over the bar and it shows a little picture of what's there, so you don't have to do that.
Yep.
Yeah, but that assumes that it's actually correct. I always, whenever I find a picture of what's actually going on, I always go a little bit prior to that, because it takes a while for the preview to update for whatever reason for me.
So if you have a potato, back up a little bit.
Yeah. I don't think I have a potato anymore.
Burn! We just got
toaster.
Yes, believe it or not, Howland, there are highlights.
Yes. The highlights usually involve the outro. Wait, what?
I don't know.
I think he was burning us some more, but it didn't really work.
Yeah. And do we have anything else really WoW related? I mean, we logged in, some of us raided, some of us attempted challenge mode, some of us stayed awake through challenge mode.
I was tired, okay?
That's fine. Once the timer ran out, I was like, okay, I'm good.
So you guys didn't get it?
Well, it didn't help that the healer had 1600 latency. That's all I'm going to say.
It was more like a let's see how hard this is actually going to be and see how we do as a group, and then we'll actually try for real on another day.
They are not a cakewalk. You need to have specific gear that's not your tier set, that's not your Archie trinket, that's not your legendary ring, because none of that stuff works there.
I don't use the Archie trinket or tier gear, so...
Yeah. Pro tip, find your best stats where they're supposed to be. Focus on those. If you have options, like me, go into the challenge mode area. We scaled down to 630. Find your balance of where you want your stats at. Save that gear as your challenge mode gear. And like he said, the ring, unless it's perfect stats for you, it isn't. Your tier sets, the set bonuses don't work. Trinkets, the procs don't always work right. So find some good gear. Look it up if you want. You'll get it.
Say hi to Boo.
Kitty.
He heard that.
And with that, speaking of Kitty, because it has absolutely nothing to do with Hearthstone or the Tavern Brawl. Witch Theory. This is what, the second time of this one?
Yeah. It is a reprise, second time.
Yes. So basically, turn 1, you will draw a card that costs 1 mana. Turn 2, 2 mana, etc. and so forth. If you have them. If you don't, you get a random card. So what I did, and I am either a freaking genius or just really lucky.
Lucky.
Probably. And that's not the one I wanted. I put 1 mana card, 1 2 mana card, 1 3 mana card, a couple 4 mana cards, a couple 5, 6, 7, 8, like that. So that I was guaranteed to get that card on that turn. And then I mulliganed, I threw cards back and got new cards until hopefully I got some of the higher spendy cards to have less options at the higher manas. I got to turn 7 and I kicked the crap out of my opponent.
Well, that's not very nice.
That's the point of the game, is to beat up your opponent.
And still win the game.
Yeah, I won. But I've only done it the one time. I only played, one Tavern Brawl this week. Not because I didn't enjoy it, just I haven't been playing Hearthstone all that much this week. Been busy.
Yeah, with your Witcher 3, whatever that is.
It's fun! It's a nice break from non-stop Blizzard for the past many years. Because that's all I've played for the most part is Blizzard stuff. And they're great. But sometimes you need some other stuff. Anyway, Theory, did you play this Tavern Brawl?
Nope.
I think Theory's given up on Hearthstone.
Pretty much. Like, the only time I really play Hearthstone at this point is if the dogs are taking forever and I'm bored. On the porch, I'll fire it up on the phone. That's pretty much all the time I play it now.
What about you, Scarlett? What'd you think of it again? How'd you do?
I have like 20 wins. That's about my average. So I have a funny story about Tavern Brawl. In the beginning of the show, I was playing Hearthstone. I'm not anymore. And I was getting my ass kicked by this druid who did Astral Communion, which is basically on turn 4, you throw away your whole hand and then you get 10 mana. And then he somehow magically got all of his draw cards the turn after that, so he had like full hand. And he, basically his whole deck was 10 cost minions from those new like 7-10 health or the 10-10 health old god, just regular minions. Anyways, he kept being a dumbass, and instead of just like hitting my face and then ending the game, he kept killing my ads one by one by one. So I was getting him lower. He was like half health and I was like at 2 health. And then he uses the
Tree of Life.
Yes, thank you.
That, for those who don't know, that is the card that if your minion is out, or if minions or whatever, everything goes back up to full health.
Yep. So, because he was trading so much, all of his minions were really low health. And I had I was on a hunter, and I had I can't
Please
think
tell
of the
me
word.
Explosive Trap.
Yes, thank you, that's the word. And I cleared his board, and then he filled it back up again with like Kel'Thuzad and some other stuff. But again, he kept trading, and I finally got all my spells, and I just spelled him to death from like 15 to 0 in one turn. So if he had been not trying to BM and piss me off, he might have won the game. But he was just trying to be like a jerk. So, yeah.
So can I ask a question?
Yep.
Do they still have that quest to kill a whole bunch of minions?
Yeah.
So couldn't he have been doing that quest?
Highly doubt it. I mean, he could have.
I mean,
But-
I won't
Yeah.
lose a game to complete that quest, but I will go out of my way to complete that quest.
I also had another thing happen in Hearthstone. So I may have been BMing somebody, but not as bad as that. I only took the same turn and I killed all their minions and then killed them. And then they added me as a friend and I accepted it, and they're like, that was so rude and impolite. And then they removed me so I couldn't even respond, and I just kind of laughed. It was funny. Because there's no, like, whatever. There's no point. I'm not going to go add the druid and be like, huh, you could have won if you didn't, like, kill all my minions, blah, blah, blah.
Does anybody else think it's funny that having bad manners in Hearthstone is called BMing someone?
No. Why
I
would
do.
it? BM stands for bad manners.
It also stands for bowel movement. And that's what
Beastmaster.
you're giving them, is you're giving them stuff.
Beastmaster. That's WoW is saying Beastmaster is bad. Don't play it.
Psh, I don't know when the last time you played Beastmaster, but it's the spec to go in Legion.
I have, a spec on my hunter for Beastmaster, but that is literally to go out and tame stuff. That's it. That's all I use it for.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be survival because I want to be a melee hunter who's in everybody's face with all these pets and be a gnome.
So you want to be the best there is?
What's that have? What?
We made Pokemon joke earlier. I was going with it.
I don't.
In theory, just like liquid, drink. I don't care. He's
I
talking,
don't
zone
know
out.
Pokemon. I've never played the game, and
Neither have
today
I.
catching that one Pokemon that was in my room, which really wasn't because everybody gets their first one. Yeehaw.
And on that note, it is now officially storming where I live. So we should probably move on, otherwise this might have to be a two-parter, and nobody wants that. So,
Tell the storm to go away.
you know, I tried that once, and it just kind of looked at me and said, no, screw you. So, heroes, Free, Lily, ETC, Sergeant Hammer, Li Ming, Johanna, Greymane, Karazim at 5, Tychus at 7, Illidan at 12, and Tracer at 15. On sale! Butcher is 4 1/4. Iron Butcher skin, 374. That's his whenever he came out skin. And Commander Raynor, which is him not in his marine suit, 374. I could have swore. I guess that isn't his master skin. Huh. I could have swore it was. It doesn't matter anyway. So yeah, Gul'dan is coming. I'm the only one of the three of us who care. He's going to be out Tuesday. And...
So you do care about heroes now, or you?
I unquit.
I know, but you said today you were like, I don't know, maybe I misheard it.
Yeah,
Something.
you definitely misheard.
Alright.
But yeah, Gul'dan is coming. He is interesting. So yeah, there's that. I can't wait to see what pros do with him, but till then...
I actually watched the video of him. It looks kind of cool.
Yeah, he has one really awesome hero ability, which is the Mass Fear. And then he has one really lame ability, which is the random fireballs out of the sky that can, in theory, do tons of damage or none whatsoever. So yeah, that needs fixed. Anyway, do we have anything else? For a show that had almost no real news, we went really long.
That's what she said.
Yes, she did. Wait, what? Anyway.
Nigh.
Do I? Anyway. Do we have anything else, or are we hitting shoutouts right away? Yep, shoutouts. So, Scarlett, you're a lady, so you may go first.
Oh, shoutouts. I have more of a PSA than a shoutout per se. Basically, everybody should be kind to each other. And those who are kind to each other, let's just say this whole like week has been weird in the sense of like, you know, news and stuff, which I'm not going to get into. But I must say that being able to help someone or at the same time have someone help you in a certain way, everybody should do that more. That's my shout outs. Be nice.
Basically, what you're saying, let me get this up here real quick. What you were saying... No, that's not it, that's not it, no, that's not it, that's not it. Stupid me, wrong click. And you won't be able to hear it. Fine.
I can see it.
Yeah.
And
So,
yes, that's what I'm saying.
It was supposed to be from Bill and Ted. It was be excellent to each other. And it didn't work out. The volume didn't work, so yay, fail. But at least I haven't muted myself this time.
It
Or
was there.
did I?
You could hear it.
Barely. Anyway, Theory, do you have any shout-outs or PSAs or anything like that?
So I'm going to go the opposite of Scarlett. I'm going to say, don't be an asshole.
Okay. So basically, the rule of Will Wheaton applies. Yeah. I'll be somewhere in the middle and just leave everyone alone.
Basically,
don't go out.
Is what you're saying.
Don't go outside. Ignore the Pokemon. They're not real anyway. Just stay at home, play video games, and don't type to anyone. Just go to your garrison. You don't even have to talk or see anybody. Just stay there. You don't have to do anything.
There's trade chat in the garrison. Turn that off.
Yeah, you can turn that off if you haven't already. Just ignore everyone. It doesn't matter. Wait. Except us. Come back next week for us. So, contact time, because we didn't get any emails or anything like that. No reviews. Sad face. We would like it if you gave us a review. I will make Theory do a song and dance on the show. I don't think he'll actually do it like Totem went with it, but yeah. So, yeah, one actual shout out will be over Totem for Heroes Never Die Overwatch. Check that podcast out. He tolerates me over there. Shameless plug. Anyway, Scarlett, how do people get a hold of you? On the internet.
Oh, on the internet. On Twitter, I'm Scarlett_CTR. In Overwatch, you'd have to be on my friends list. Or get randomly plugged into my game. But if you catch me on Airy Peak, I'm in CTR Guild. And it's Scarlett, so try to find me. Yay!
Theory, how do people find you on the internet?
Well, I am at all the regular places by the name of Gang Theory. That's facebook.com/Gang Theory. On Twitch, Twitch TV/Gang Theory. Also on YouTube, got a couple of videos on there, again, at Gang Theory. And on the tweeters. I don't tweet a whole lot, but if you do tweet at me, I will respond at Gang Theory there as well.
Yep. And for me, same as Theory here, only instead of at Gang Theory, it is at Draven Dresden. I sometimes tweet, I sometimes retweet, sometimes I favorite. Sometimes I spend 10 minutes trying to compose a tweet and then I end up deleting it because it just isn't working. That's how you find me, though, is over on Twitter. You can also find us over on our Discord server, which you can join by typing in your browser bit.ly/epicfailpodcast. Yes, I created it after the 15-20 minute conversation we had after the show last week, Theory.
I am impressed. Now, does it work? If it doesn't work, then that's classic.
Please let it work. It should.
Would it work if we go try it now if we're already in the server?
It should, yeah, because it should just bring it up in your browser. But Theory, you were muted when you said something, so...
You shouldn't have said something.
That's what makes it funny, though.
Well, maybe.
To me, anyway.
Okay.
So, yeah. Come on over, join the Discord. We will be more active with more people. Right now, we're a little slow because we're busy with other stuff, but, we're there. And we're listening. So, do we have any last words, or is it going to be the usual me making something up at the last second?
Yep.
It's gonna be you.
So yep is the last word.
Yep.
Okay, bye. Hello, Mother.
You know, the world could always use more heroes.